What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for episode 2 of the Unpopular Opinions, and let's get straight into it without further ado. THFC Carl saying Sanchez is if Sanchez is properly coached, he can be a top centre-back.
Popular opinion. Guys, it's unpopular opinions here, not popular opinions. Of course, I mean...
If you send in popular opinions, John get very angry, guys.
Yeah, I know. We can all see that. We can all see he's quite a raw defender, and he's quite a dynamic defender. His issues are that he's a bit rash, and sometimes he lacks composure, and he lunges in.
Can that be coached out of you?
So potentially, if he works on that, he could become a top centre back. Yeah, maybe. He's still youngish, isn't he? Mm-hmm. What was he, 24?
Something like that, 23, 24,
yeah.
something like that.
So yeah, I can see that.
Okay.
What do you think is going to happen to him this year? What's your predictions with Sanchez? Do you think he's going to get exposed, or do you think he's going to have a really good season right to the end?
It's hard to say he's going to have a really good season right to the end, because it's like we've never seen that with Sanchez. I mean, he's come back, looked more confident, and started the season well. I don't really want to make a prediction because I just want him to keep doing what he's doing.
Yeah, all right. Okay. I'm sure you're not going to affect his confidence.
You never know. You could be watching.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to the next one.
I'll read this one out. Okay, so this one is from Don Fabio FC. Dyer is criminally underrated, better than Sanchez. Do you want to lead off on that one?
Criminally underrated. I think that is that's criminal, that tweet in itself, to be honest. I don't think he's criminally underrated at all. I think that he came in last season, by and large he actually did well, but he makes those brain farts, those mistakes within games. He makes like 1 or 2 mistakes a game, but those mistakes usually cost us. And I think that if that mistake he made against Wolves led to a goal, you wouldn't be sending in that tweet.
Yeah, exactly. That's the recency bias, isn't it? I actually think he's overrated, personally. I think for the last 5-6 years, he's effectively stolen a career with us.
Wow.
I do think that. But then what happens is he'll have a string of games where he looks solid, and doesn't make any mistakes, and suddenly he does look like, wow, we're really underrating him. He's like really top defender. But you wait until the first few gaffes start happening with Dyer, and that might change Don Fabio.
Yeah. Let's move on. Aaron, Evolving YT, saying Nuno was a better managerial appointment instead of Conte. That's interesting. I mean, if Conte would have come, that means everything would be in place for him to succeed at Tottenham. He didn't come because that wasn't the case, right? So it's hard to say that's true, because if Conte would have been appointed, everything would have been in place for him to succeed. He's clearly a better manager than Nuno. He's one of the best managers in the world currently, Antonio Conte.
What was the order of the pecking order for Nuno, do you think? Like, what choice do you think he was out of 5 or 10?
I think he's... In my opinion, I think he's probably the best we could have got after Pochettino and Conte.
But what do you think? Yeah, how many did he leave you go for, and where was he on that list, do you think, in the priority order?
I think he was about 5th or something.
Right, okay.
Because he went for Poch, he went for Conte, he went for Fonseca, he went for Gattuso, and then he went for Nuno. But it's mental to go for Fonseca and Gattuso over Conte. Yeah. That's mental.
If that's true, that is mental. Yeah. And we'll have to wait and find out about that. I mean, he looks like a good man manager to me. And it could be one of those ones that just come off. I mean, Poch wasn't first choice, was he? Van Gaal was ahead of him. So
yeah, that's true.
Sometimes the outsiders do better than the first choices. So
I think Spurs' first choices never really do that.
No,
well,
exactly.
Do
So you could be right on that one. But we'll have to wait and see, yeah.
Go on, what's the next one?
Right, oh God, you're giving me this name. Should I say Teodoro Buongiorno? Italian, isn't it? Buongiorno. Oh, Buongiorno, sorry. Read that wrong. Teodoro Buongiorno. This squad needs Llorente as backup for Kane. What is it with this Llorente fetish?
Llorente sexuals, man.
Llorente sexuals. God.
Llorente sexuals.
Understand it.
I wouldn't say we need Llorente himself, but we need a Llorente style backup.
I
in
agree.
My opinion.
Yeah, I agree with that. Definitely, someone to fall back on. Some kind of, even if it's like a nuisance sub like Llorente, or some kind of journeyman striker that you can just bring on.
Journeyman's the way to go. He's happy to sit on the bench. Happy to come and come in when needed. And I think Llorente was exactly that when he was at Spurs.
Yeah, and he did a job. for his role as being a nuisance sub, he did that well.
He was so vital in that run to the Champions League final.
Yeah.
And that season as a whole, to be honest. So I loved Llorente. Had a big man crush on Llorente.
You did, didn't you?
And,
you and
Sim
freaky.
actually started it, and then I kind of latched onto it. But I do agree with that. I think that
I agree.
we don't need a Llorente, but we need a Llorente style.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, so popular.
Yeah. Next one, Jonathan THFC. With the arrival of Ronaldo, Harry Kane is still the best attacker in the Premier League.
Why is he mentioning Ronaldo then?
Because he must be saying Ronaldo is the second best.
I guess even with the arrival of Ronaldo.
That's what he's saying.
That's what he's kind of saying. Do you know what? I think Lukaku's going to outscore Kane this season.
Does that mean he's a better attacker than him?
Maybe not, but I just wanted to throw that in there. I think Lukaku's in the argument, isn't he? In the debate there.
He's also in a better team.
Yeah. So, I don't know. What do you think?
I think Kane is the best attacker in the Premier League. I think Ronaldo... It's hard with Ronaldo because obviously Ronaldo won the best, if not the best player of all time. But he's in the twilight of his career now, 36 years old, I think he is, or maybe even older. So I think if you would ask the United fans before they signed Ronaldo, do you want to sign Harry Kane now or Cristiano Ronaldo? I reckon they would have said Kane.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, that's an age thing as well, though, right? That's because they're thinking longevity and they're thinking like as a long-term investment.
Yeah, but also someone that can come in here and now and Cristiano Ronaldo is not the player that he used to be. He can't like burst through players on the wing and that kind of stuff. He's a complete out-and-out poacher now. That's what he is. Harry Kane's got a lot more to his game than that.
Yeah, we'll have to ask them. We'll have to ask them, yeah.
Ask who?
Well, some United fans. I think do another poll.
You're loving your polls,
I'm
aren't
loving
you?
my polls, by the way. I think they're great. Great idea.
All right, let's go to the next one.
Okay, so this one is from Chris Kirikou. Hojbjerg is overrated and was the reason why we conceded so many goals last season. Ben? Look at that face. Look at the face on Ben there.
Hojbjerg was overrated. He's not overrated, but the reason his performances did drop is because he was overplayed.
Yeah.
It's got nothing to do with him being overrated. He was just being overused and overworked last season, and that's facts. And I think that Hojbjerg, I think he's actually a better box-to-box midfielder than he is like a deep-lying destroyer.
I'm glad it's an unpopular opinion, though, because that is unpopular, isn't it? I think we did overplay him. I think he was actually underrated when he first came in, and then he kind of overachieved for what we expected of him, and then he became this sort of player that we then relied on so much. So in some people's eyes, he's now become overrated somehow. But I still think that for what we bought him for, and the money we invested in him, and for what he's done and how he smashed out in almost every single game he played last season, it'd be very difficult to say he's overrated. I think or let's say. He's not overappreciated. I think if anything, he's underappreciated, isn't he?
Yeah, and I think that there was a big reason why we had kind of no midfield last year. Yes, Hojbjerg was in there. He was coupled up with Tanguy and Dembele, right? The defence behind them didn't do them any favours. The kind of wing backs next to them didn't do them any favours, and it was kind of like the midfield was getting bypassed quite often last season. But I think that was also because the midfield of Hojbjerg and Dembele you needed another in there to kind of give them protection, in my opinion.
Something that I noticed is that at the beginning part of last season, Hojbjerg was holding a lot more of a disciplined role in front of the back four. And then as the season went on, nearer towards the end, he started to become a little bit more box to box. I noticed, and a lot of spaces started to occur, in and around the around the defensive area. So that's actually what created a lot of holes, I would say. But I don't pin that on him. That's just the way that we were managed last season. But for me, Hojbjerg is brilliant. What a catch. And, he's our leader, future captain.
All right. Talk THFC saying, Nuno was the best managerial appointment we could have got. And I completely agree with that.
Well, it's looking that way, isn't it? It's looking like it's worked out. Well, it's working out so far. I mean, it's early days, isn't it? But, if you didn't get Nuno, who would you have liked to have seen?
That's the thing. The only person I would have wanted above Nuno would have been Poch or Conte, and both of them were unrealistic.
Yeah, so I guess it was the best of the rest, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But look, that is
Yeah.
your episode 2 of Unpopular Opinions. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. We'll see you next for episode 3. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.